completely abuse them and quite literally die.
Nausea, feeling like you have morning sickness almost every day.
Which one's worse? Ozempic or steroids? You tell me. If any of you follow me on Instagram, you may have known that I took a poll the other day asking which one was worse, Ozempic or steroids, and these were the results. Why is it that these substances are so different, yet they both equally could come with very adverse effects? Ozempic is a type 2 diabetes medicine that people have found to be a very beneficial alternative for weight loss. Advertisements for Ozempic can be seen across Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, and so on. In today's society, we are taught that your appearance is what matters most. However, in today's video, we will be deep diving into the negative effects that Ozempic can have on the body and comparing that to steroids. You may have never seen an advertisement for steroids, however, there has been plenty of professional athletes who have been caught using them. Steroids are considered cheating in most professional sports. This is due to it causing rapid muscle growth or increasing physical performance. Okay, so moving forward, let's break down the potential uses and possible adverse effects that come with administering Ozempic. Stay tuned as I will be interviewing a former Ozempic user. Ozempic has shown an immense amount of positive health outcomes for users of both weight loss and type 2 diabetes. However, as I said before, there are many negatives that come into play when administering Ozempic. According to WebMD, some include gastrointestinal effects because of its work on your gut. This is considered the most common side effect of both type 2 diabetes users and even more in weight loss users. This can include nausea, vomiting, and even constipation. Ozempic has also been connected to some cases of thyroid cancer. However, this effect can be more severe in an hereditary case. Like if someone in your family already has thyroid cancer, you could be at higher risk if you are taking Ozempic. Consult your doctor right away if you administer Ozempic and have any of the following effects: a lump or swelling in your neck, hoarseness, trouble swallowing, or shortness of breath. Call your doctor. So who do I have here with me today?
I am Laura. I'm Ben's mom.
So yeah, my mom is an user of Ozempic. I'm not that mad about. I do have some questions about it.
All right, let's go.
What were the reasons that you decided to take Ozempic?
So a couple of reasons. Obviously, just weight loss. I would say as far as weight loss, not so much vanity. The excess weight that I carry, I feel like it affects my joints, and also family history of diabetes. So I was trying to get that under control so that I can mitigate the risks.
If you can go through the list of the negative effects you faced using Ozempic, what would it be?
That's easy. Nausea, feeling like you have morning sickness almost every day. When you go up in a dose, that happens. I notice more. Definitely like slows down going to the bathroom. So if you don't stay on top of that, that can become a problem. Heartburn.
How do you feel our society works against individuals having healthy lifestyle plans?
Well, I know for myself, and I'm sure like a lot of people, if you work a job that's sedentary where you aren't working, if you're not sitting at your desk, then that in and of itself, you're just, it's so hard on your body. And by the time you're done working, you're mentally drained, so you don't always feel like going to the gym. And if you happen to live in an area like we do, where healthy eating, fast food options aren't so much a priority, it makes it really difficult. Our busiest restaurants around us are McDonald's, Wendy's, pizza shops. I mean, sure, you could pick a healthy option, but it is limited compared to some places where definitely healthy lifestyle is more prioritized.
That brings me to our next question, which is, how has Ozempic affected your psychological outlook?
As far as like how does it work, I can't get into the science of it, but I know it's something to do with slows down like the emptying of your stomach. Get ready to eat the amount of food you normally would eat, and kind of like halfway through and you're like, I'm not really hungry anymore. You just set it to the side. And one really important benefit I noticed, and I've heard this, sounds very strange, but it is true, does something different to the reward system in your brain. So you tend to not crave things that are addictive, like alcohol. In my case, I was drinking a lot of wine. Definitely could be a habit, having wine frequently. You don't have that same reward and enjoyment that you normally would.
And finally, would you suggest Ozempic to others, and why?
I think it's worth a try. One thing that my doctor and I agreed on is if you're going to do it, like some people, if you're getting pretty sick, you need to go much slower and like going up in doses, because if you follow it the way that the company tells you, sometimes that could be a little too aggressive. You go from like one dose to the next. Somebody who like once they went to that next dose, they were just so sick for a week, and nobody wants that. So, talking to your doctor about ways to mitigate some of those things can be helpful. And not being afraid to take it a little slower. Just because you want to lose weight fast doesn't mean that's the most ideal thing.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
As I've said before, the most common side effect of Ozempic is the nausea. My mom also said something about heartburn, and she also said trouble using the bathroom. So all pretty uncomfortable things. Aside from that, my mom also went in detail about an issue many people across America have faced: obesity. If you're like me and live in a small town, rural area, the only options are McDonald's, Wendy's, or Burger King. That can be more tempting for some rather than others. In America alone, 1 in 11 adults suffer from severe obesity. Not to mention, we are fed information from social media on how we should look a certain way, act a certain way. As I said before, ads for Ozempic are on every social media. So is this a positive thing for people suffering from severe obesity, or are we being fed misinformation on how we should look a certain way? I'll let you decide in the comments down below. Also, if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to drop a subscribe because this video is about to get a whole lot crazier. Okay, so that is the perfect segue into the next topic of our video: steroids. Stay tuned as I will be interviewing an open steroid user. There are actually 2 types of steroids. There's anabolic and there's cortico. Anabolic has been shown to be your traditional steroids that increase muscle mass and have shown various negative effects, such as infertility, breast development, shrinking of testicles in men, women, enlargement of the clitoris, male pattern baldness, HIV and AIDS, high blood pressure, enlargement of the heart, cancer, tumors, hepatitis, mania, and finally, delusions. Moving forward, corticosteroids have shown various negative effects that include increased appetite, unexpected weight gain, skin change including bruising and or acne, stomach irritation, muscle weakness. So if you couldn't tell already, steroids come with a lot of adverse effects. However, it has been shown that steroids have been very beneficial in treating inflammation in the body. So you could use it for that. Who do I have with me here today?
My name is Brandon, also known as Big B on Instagram and TikTok. Fitness influencer, content creator, whatever you want to call it.
So I have a few questions for you, Brandon. You seem pretty open to answering, and I have been really excited to hear this point of view. First question I got: how did you learn about taking steroids to increase muscle mass, if you use it for that reason?
Okay, yeah, so it's hard to explain. I do take performance enhancers, not steroids, but I will be taking steroids. But I learned about enhancements and steroids, I honestly want to say, through YouTube, and I probably really got interested in it when Togi popped up. I'm not gonna lie, he's the influencers, the TikTok people know.
Kind of just like how like it is, could you almost say like with Ozempic, like how they be like advertising? Damn, because I was saying in my video already, I was like, they don't be advertising steroids.
Well, I mean, I've always been a fan of just like enhancements and just like scientific things.
Yeah.
But through social media, bodybuilding got more popular. You can obviously tell when guys are using steroids, and it might not be a direct, hey, buy this, but they're definitely advertising.
Okay, now the next question I got: have you experienced any negative side effects using steroids, and if so, what are they?
So I've used SARMs and peptides. I've experienced negatives probably 3 times. The least like not really health issue I used was I used something called enclomiphene, which is a testosterone increaser.
Right.
Unlike injectable testosterone anabolic, it keeps your natural test going, so you can just stop it and be fine and not have to commit to steroids.
Right.
But it made me smell like olives.
What?
Yep. It only happens to certain people because of genetics, but anytime I took it, my whole body like just showered, like I just smelled like olives. It's
really
interesting side effect. I mean, that was the only thing I got, but
there are any other negatives?
Yeah. For that compound specifically, there is, the biggest risk is eye floaters. It's not too common.
So explain that to me. What is like an eye floater?
So if you were just sitting here, almost like if a hair was kind of flying through your eyes, like little squiggles going around, and that can be permanent. But not as common, but it's definitely possible. And of course, liver enzymes, you know, you've taken anything oral, it's gonna damage your liver like alcohol, if not worse. And estrogen side effects. If your estrogen gets too high or too low, you can get balding, acne, gyno.
It comes with risks, but like
slightly less than steroids. Now,
like you did say, like you like the enhancer, so it's probably like a good feeling when someone like you like be working out.
Yeah, especially with what I'm using now, it's definitely fun. I'll say that.
I mean, this is a pretty basic one. How long have you taken steroids?
I've been taking PEDs probably for maybe half a year now, if not longer.
So not that long, actually.
Yeah, I started a little early in my fitness journey.
Right.
Earlier than I I probably should have with my knowledge now, but my body responded pretty well, so it wasn't.
Yeah. Do you think that steroid use is common in your community of gym members and athletes?
It's becoming more common for sure. Like, even if I go to the gym, like a bodybuilding gym, at least there's gonna be 2 or 3 guys on steroids in there, if not more than that. If I've been even at Planet Fitness, I can see guys walking around and they're obviously at least on something.
I heard it was like something with the neck and
so the
veins.
biggest sign is, so your androgen receptors are in your traps, shoulders, and quads.
Right.
So when you take androgenic steroids, that's what's gonna blow up. So when you see guys with like shoulders that are, I mean, obviously it can be genetics too, but shoulders that are just like the thickest shoulders ever, like thickest traps, and like 5% body fat, and he's like 200 pounds, probably.
What physical and psychological side effects of steroid use have you experienced?
I will say I feel like my anxiety has increased on the negative part. I've always had bad anxiety. I do consume THC, so like sometimes it makes it worse, but since I started using MK677, which is a very popular performance enhancer, I guess, my anxiety did increase a little bit, but not too bad. It's not like I'm sitting here thinking the FBI is gonna kick down my door. I don't know, maybe a bruise will show up and I'll be like, oh my god, what's that? Like
yeah, I'm a big overthinker myself, so like
hardcore. It definitely didn't help with that much.
Any like physical effects?
Since I started my new compounds, which I can just tell you, it's HCG, which is similar to that in clomiphene, except for it's injectable,
right?
And it's a little less side effect heavy and more effective. If that makes sense. MK677 is, I'm combined those two, and within 3 weeks, I've probably dropped a couple percentages in body fat and picked up a lot more mass.
Okay, so it does have physical improvement. So like, would you say that's like your main reason for using it is like?
I say it's 50-50 with my muscle mass and my mental. Because I personally, now I haven't gotten the blood test done, which I should. I personally have always felt like I struggle with low testosterone.
Right. No,
just because, I'll be so real right now, I don't even have like armpit hair still.
No.
Like straight up.
It happened, bro. It happened.
But I started taking the HCG and my confidence was from here to here in no time.
That's what it's for.
Thing. Yeah. That's my honestly favorite benefit is the confidence, because you can just do things more, if that makes sense.
Stuff like ashwagandha and all that.
Yeah, take that, yeah.
But like supplements, they can always be kind of iffy.
Supplements do work, like it's definitely a good option. I still take all the regular supplements that I suggest anyone to take. Like I have a handful every morning.
Would you advise others to use steroids to build muscle mass?
I say it depends on the person. Like obviously the best answer is always going to be no.
Yeah.
No matter what, the best answer is always going to be no, or wait as long as you can. But if it's something you want to do and you're interested in, I say do your research and give it a shot, you know?
And like understand your body.
Yeah, give it a shot and just understand there's a risk, same as anything. And everyone's different. Don't expect to look at me or somebody else and expect to be like the exact same. Like you could be 10 times better or like a million times worse. It's 50-50.
The final banger, Ozempic or steroids? Which one is worse?
I think it depends on your mentality on which one's worse. Because you could easily take Ozempic and just say, that's it, that's the shortcut. You cannot eat and lose your weight, still have like horrible mindset and get a lot of bad side effects because now you're malnourished. But then again, steroids, you could completely abuse them and quite literally die. I think to sum it up, I think steroids are worse than Ozempic. I would rather somebody, to lose weight specifically, I would rather you go with Ozempic or something similar than a steroid.
So to kind of sum up my entire interview with Brandon, it went very well. He was extremely nice. I would like to call myself out because through the entirety of the interview, I kept referring to it as steroids when he expressed to me that he was only using performance enhancers. However, he did express to me how he has goals to use real steroids in the future. The first negative effect Brandon spoke about was smelling like olives. That is unlike any effect I've ever heard, but whatever. He also claimed by combining compounds he was able to reduce some of the various negative effects. Brandon also claimed that the performance enhancer in particular caused something called eye floaters, where you see something in the corner of your eye, like hair or whatever. Nothing too severe, but he did say it was permanent, so he also covered the basics and what I covered prior, like it could mess with your liver, as well as enzymes, and estrogen side effects that include balding, acne, and or gyro. Not to mention, he also said he noticed an increase in anxiety when taking performance enhancers, where he did express to me that he has anxiety, as do I, so it's hard to pinpoint if that's the main cause. Lastly, his conclusion was that if you're trying to lose weight, Ozempic is the safer option. If you are looking to increase muscle mass, it is crucial to understand your body and talk to a doctor beforehand. So that does conclude our video. I would like to say, from a personal perspective, I believe Ozempic has shown a mass amount of beneficial effects. As you you can see, my mom takes it, so it's good in some way. Now, that is not to say performance enhancers don't, but strictly for a specific reason, that Ozempic is better as far as effects. I guess you can say the same for performance enhancers as well, as far as gaining muscle. However, I made this video solely to understand which had the worst effects. And not to my surprise, maybe to some people that took the poll on my Instagram, because it was 50-50, but steroids show much worse effects when compared to Ozempic. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like down below if you want to see more, and peace.